Hello and welcome to today's Advent reflection for Thursday the 4th of December. It's really great to be with you. My name is David and today I'll be reflecting on a passage from the book of Isaiah, chapter 61, verses 1 to 3. So if you'd like to read the passage, pause the video now. The Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is upon me, and I have been anointed to preach freedom to the poor. That's how the passage starts. To preach freedom to the poor. And goes on to say, to those who mourn, those who are bereaved, those who are captive, those who are prisoner. When we hear those words, who do we think those people are? Perhaps at this time of year when we go out doing our Christmas shopping, we're reminded of the people we might see in abandoned doorways, sat on a bit of old cardboard with a small handwritten note and an empty cup in front of them, saying, "I'm hungry, I've nowhere to sleep tonight, please spare a little change." Perhaps we think of friends and neighbours who might be recently or even some time ago bereaved, who are still living in the shadow of sadness. But the reality is, do we ever think of ourselves? Do we ever put ourselves into the place of these people? Those who are poor, the bereaved, those who are captive, prisoners, those who are mourning. I think the reality is that all of us can put ourselves into some of those categories, whether we openly acknowledge it or not. To some degree, our lives are all lived in some darkness. And Advent is a time when we walk from that darkness, those things that hold us back, into the marvellous light of Jesus' birth that we celebrate on Christmas Day. Life can be really tough. We might have rent and energy bills that we can't quite afford every month. We can't quite afford to pay for Christmas. We can't quite afford to give the children the gifts and experiences that we'd really like to give them. We can't quite afford to give our grandchildren the gifts that we'd like to. We live in times which are financially hard. But even more than that, we live in times where society is always expectant of us. So many of us live by our social media presence, and how many of us are trapped and captive by that? Wouldn't it be wonderful to throw off all of those expectations? Wouldn't it be wonderful to live with the burden lifted from our shoulders? Wouldn't it be wonderful to walk and live in the light, like one of those wonderful, warm, sunny days when we just relax and allow Jesus to lead us? Wouldn't it be wonderful? And in this time of Advent, we have that opportunity afresh, not only to do that ourselves, but to show and guide our friends, neighbours, and the people sat in the doorways to the wonderful saving light of Jesus. Perhaps this Advent, as we work through these reflections, we might reflect that not only is it for someone else, but it's also for us. In hope and expectation, I'd like to leave you with the words of one of my favourite Advent hymns. Come, thou long-expected Jesus, born to set thy people free. From our fears and sins release us. Let us find our rest in thee. Have a really great day.